Hello, ladies. Welcome to week 1, day 1, where we're going to start figuring out where are you right here, right now, so that we can get clear on what's happening in this course, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you something that you should be able to download. It's called the idea method. And it's just 3 pages, okay? And we're gonna go over this idea method so you really get clear on what's happening. And then you also have some journal prompts that will guide you along the way and really help you get clear of what's happening. You can stop this video every once in a while if you want to and answer those if that helps. There's almost a question on each one of these, okay? So you joined this course for a reason, right? You were like, I have an idea, probably, and you want to implement it. You want to see your dream turn into reality. So I'm going to give you an example of one of my ideas, and I may give you more than one for that matter, just to kind of help guide you along the way and kind of give you a little story background here, okay? The idea method, a lot of people think they get an idea and they get success. Like they get to bring it out to the world and they're so excited about it and they think it's like this straight line. When really it's more idea, success, you see it, and then you start chasing it, and then you start going off on this roller coaster and you're like, oh my God. And then you hit success. The problem is when you're in that roller coaster freaking out, if you stop, there's a problem. You're not gonna hit success. And we want you to succeed. So I'm going to get you to go through this process where you have an idea. Ding! Inspiration. You're so excited. Inspiration is when you start writing it down. So let's say my idea, and this is a true story here. My idea is I want to write a book and I'm super excited to write it. I love to read. I love to write, and I really want my first book to be like amazing, right? So that's the problem. The problem for me personally is perfectionism. And I'm like, my book has to be amazing, even if it's the first one. And I know people have written like 24 plus books and, only 1 or 2 is maybe a bestseller, but I want my first one to be a bestseller. I want to be that kind of person, right? And that's where you get stuck. But I have this idea. I'm going to write a book. Ding, right? Step 1. Step 2 is I get inspired, right? I'm so excited about writing this book, and I spent about 3 months being inspired and writing this book, and I was so excited, and I wrote tons of chapters. I wrote an outline. I had someone like already telling me they wanted me to do a foreword. I had someone already telling me that they knew where they wanted me to publish. I was super excited about it. And then I had a breakdown. I was frustrated. I was angry. There was this voice in my head telling me I'm not good enough. There was this voice in my head that just kept talking snap and was really bringing me down. And at some point, I just stopped writing my book. I just stopped completely. And what happens in a lot of people when they get this idea and they get inspired, it's either that voice in their head that's just like, you're not good enough. What the pan are you thinking? This is not going to work. Horrible idea. Or it can be something externally that happens that gets you to have this breakdown. But a lot of the times, even if something is happening outside of you, if you truly believe in yourself, if you're truly after this, then you can still move forward and continue down this path, right? So breakdown happens inside. But externally, let's say someone's pointing a finger at you and saying, it's a horrible idea, I can't believe it. Or let's say you had an idea and then you start Googling it and you're so inspired and you're like, oh snap, someone else has an idea. It's happened many times, right? As soon as you have an idea, something's happening in the world that someone possibly may have had something similar to it. Now you got to change it, whatever it is, right? So you have that breakdown. This is where a lot of people stop. A lot of people have a breakdown and they just don't move forward. They're like, okay, that's it. I'm going to put the idea in the trash and let go of it and never think about it again. As you can tell, this is only step 3, so you don't want to put it in the trash. You want to keep moving forward. You have to understand that breakdowns are part of the journey, literally, and you have to be able to enjoy this journey. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey and understanding that the breakdown is just a phase. It's not the end result here. You have to keep moving forward. Just keep swimming, right? So the 4th step is incubation. You had this breakdown, you're freaking out, your voice of judgment and that voice in your head is speaking really loudly at this point, right? What you want to do is put it in incubation mode. You want to put it in the back burner and just kind of leave it there. And you could leave it there for years, months, a lot of people are probably in incubation mode right now that are taking the Aligned Action Academy. And that's because like they have this idea and they're like, oh my God, this has been in my head for 20 years. I want to write this book. I want to start this business. I want to get my hobby and move it forward. I want to do this. I want to do that. Whatever it is that you want to do. A lot of people are in incubation mode. And it's great to leave it in incubation mode, but at the same time, you want to strategize, right? Incubation mode is also letting go, by the way. Just being able to take a step back and see it in a bigger picture, kind of like you're a scientist, right? And a lot of people have like a hypothesis, and now it's time to make theories about it and really do the experiments to show that it's true and that this is something that can work out and all that jazz. So incubation and strategizing, step 4 and step 5, are kind of like intertwined. It's like a little circle that you can go through for a while. And at some point, you're going to get out of it. Okay, just a heads up. But let's talk about strategizing for a second. There's different ways that you can strategize. Strategizing could be you taking a break and going to meditate and really getting in tune with yourself and journaling it out. Strategizing could be you want to write a book and you set a timer every single day for an hour for you to write 500 words, because a normal book, let's say, has X amount of words. I forgot at the moment. It's like 30,000, 50,000 or something like that. And then you want to break it down to 500 a day and figure out how many days you need to really write that much to get it moving forward. You write your first draft, then you get a second draft, then a third draft, then you give it to the publisher. This is your strategizing. You figuring out, all right, what's my plan? If you created a course, for example, or you want to create a business, you need to start strategizing on how are you going to sell your products or services? Are you going to go on Facebook? Are you going to go on Instagram? What's happening? So strategizing could be anything from meditating, journaling, taking a course, getting in tune with yourself, going to seminars, webinars, whatever it is. That's strategizing. And then you keep going around in incubation mode, leaving it there, strategizing again. At some point, something's going to happen. You're going to have that ding moment again. You're going to have a breakthrough, whether that's your first client or your 100th client. You get to decide what breakthrough means for you. Okay. Breakthrough is different for each person. So is the idea, for that matter. So whatever breakthrough means for you, this is like it. This is it. I've reached the point, like, holy panda, I'm at success, right? When you reach success, a lot of people don't do the last step, which is celebration. You need to be able to be like, oh my God, yes, I did it. Taking out that champagne bottle, going traveling, going on a date, whatever it is that just like, this is for celebration mode, right? For me, I sit in my bathtub and I like totally start singing my heart out with like a little bunch of bubbles around me. Like I love dancing and I'll go freaking ballistic. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I love singing at my car and driving like a maniac in a safe space, right? So whatever celebration is for you, a lot of people will go from idea to success or breakthrough, and then they'll just get another idea and keep going without celebrating. And that's where burnout, stress, overwhelm can happen. So you need to know what that breakthrough is for you. Now, it could be a crazy goal. I'm going to let that be for you. I don't recommend for it to be a crazy goal, but you get to decide, okay? Now, the questions that you're going to see when you go downstairs / in the other pages is, where are you in the idea method from 1 to 7, and explain in detail. Oops, I forgot the T. I'll fix that and I'll put it back in there. And the idea is to really get in tune where are you in your idea? Are you inspired? Have you not had a breakdown yet? That's freaking amazing. Just be aware that it may be there, but now that you're aware of it, you may be able to skip it completely, right? Are you in incubation mode and now you're strategizing and that's why you're taking this course? Are you close to breakthrough, but you just haven't defined what breakthrough is? Where are you on this journey? Or have you totally done this before and you just haven't celebrated before, and now you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out and you have this new idea and you're like, oh my God, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore, right? So I'm glad you're here. No matter where you are, you're here for a reason, girl. You got this, right? So figure that out. Then write down what's your idea. Go ballistic. If you end up having to go through more than that little space, write in the back, get a journal out, whatever you need. The third one is what helps you feel inspired, okay? So a lot of times in this incubation or strategizing mode, or even through inspiration, a lot of times you can be inspired for just a second, or it could be months. Whatever it is, you want to know what that feeling is like and be able to bring it out to yourself, because there's a difference between your emotions taking you over and you taking over your emotions, right? Sometimes you can just feel that like anger pop up. You're like, ah, right? That's your emotions taking over you. When you learn to handle your emotions, you're like, I want to feel inspired. Well, let me go dance like a maniac, and that's going to help me feel inspired. Let me go sit in front of my paper and just start writing and see what comes out. That's where your inspiration and that flow comes from, okay? So get clear on that. Start figuring that out. When you're in breakdown, what helps you remember that this is part of the journey and not your destination? Again, I'm going to mention this again because this is so huge. Realizing that breakdown is part of the process. What's going to help you remember that when, if, whatever it is that you get to that breakdown point, that brick wall of frustration? And then you're going to move on to that third page, which is when you are, well, oopsie, I wrote the same thing again. That's fine. Okay. When you are in an incubation mode, what helps you let go? Okay. Now we talked about incubation mode beforehand a little bit. And remember that the focus is letting go, figuring out how can you just relax? Maybe you go to yoga, maybe meditate, whatever it is to kind of just let go. And then when you're ready, you can start strategizing again. Okay. Maybe it's just having a cup of tea, whatever it is, to give yourself a little break from it so that you can keep moving forward. A lot of times what tends to happen when people are in incubation mode and they start strategizing and they put it back in incubation mode, and the way that they get to that breakthrough and have that aha moment is like they're just showering and it just pops up in their head, or they wake up and you're like, oh my God, I figured it out. Like your brain will figure it out, people. Just give it a minute. Okay. What kind of strategies can you take to move forward with your idea? So the strategies can be anything, like I mentioned, from course to webinars to meditating to journaling to whatever it is, or even getting allies. I didn't mention that earlier, so I want to make sure to say it now. Getting allies and networking and getting a one-on-one coach and start figuring out what other people are doing, having a mentor and figuring out how they did it and following in their footsteps, or even setting time for it could be strategizing. So whatever it is, pick it and go for it. And what needs to happen for you to know this is a breakthrough for your idea, right? Knowing that like, that's it, I've hit the breakthrough. Whether it's your first client, 100 clients, whatever, you're like, yes, this is what I know. I need to hit myself to really move this idea along. Maybe it's publishing your book, or maybe your breakthrough is even just making your first draft, right? Whatever it is, celebrating and continuing forward. And then what are you going to do to celebrate your success? You want to get clear on your breakthrough and your celebration. And the reason is because a lot of people will forget. And for example, I was like, when I finish this course, there's a new book out that I can't wait to read. And that's going to be my celebration. My celebration for finishing this course and having this outline for you girls and being able to promote it and all that jazz is my breakthrough is going to be finishing it, period. Then I get to celebrate and read a book that I really want. And then I'll go on to another idea that'll be really selling this and really bringing it out there into the world and showing people that. And then I'll go through the whole process again, and then I'll have another breakthrough, right? But I like to, give them little simple steps versus like a huge idea, like, I don't know, writing the whole entire book and breakthrough is published. For me personally, I like being like, okay, my breakthrough is writing my first chapter. My breakthrough is writing my first draft. My breakthrough is writing my second draft. My breakthrough is getting an editor to help me out, right? And I like to celebrate every step of the way. That's just me. That doesn't have to be you, but just giving you ideas and letting you know that it's totally possible, okay? So getting clear, where are you in this idea method? Being clear on where you are so we can start taking action steps toward it, okay? And I will see you in day 2 very soon, okay? Mwah, mwah, mwah. Kisses, bye.